Good morning. Welcome to Pastor John's Fireside Chat. It's Thursday, July 16th. A while ago, I was doing a leadership conference for some leaders at Epiphany, and I shared the story of a usher who worked in a very posh New York City movie theater. He was going about his duties, and he noticed a man sprawled out across 3 seats. "Sir," he said, "I'm sorry, but you're only allowed 1 seat." The man groaned, but didn't budge. The usher became impatient and said, "Sir, if you don't get up, I'm going to have to go get the manager." Again, the man groaned, which just infuriated the usher, and then he turned and he briskly walked back up the aisle to get his manager. A few moments later, both the usher and the manager stood over the man, saying, "You got to move." And all the guy did was groan. "All right, buddy," the manager said. "What's your name?" "Sam," the man moaned. "Where did you come from, Sam?" And with pain in his voice, he replied, "The balcony." I'm assuming that at least one person who's listening to these words can probably relate to Sam. You're hurting. You're hurting. You might feel broken. And it would be nice if someone could come alongside of you to help. But rather than finding a helping hand, far too often we hear things like, "Well, you should have known better. If you'd have done it differently, you wouldn't be in this situation right now," or "I told you so." And far too often, even well-meaning people that love us can be very unkind in what they say. Here's the good news. If you're hurting, if you're broken, I want to introduce you to this guy named Jesus Christ. Because he will not condemn you. He will not point an accusing finger at you. What he'll do is heal you. This is how Luke puts it in Luke chapter 4. It's the very beginning of Jesus' public ministry. After he was baptized, he began teaching and preaching, and he ended up in Nazareth, his hometown. And as was his custom, he went to church. He went to the synagogue. And because he was a rabbi, they allowed him to read. And this is what Luke records. Unrolling it, he found the place where it is written. And it's a quote from the prophet Isaiah. "The Spirit of the Lord is on me, because he has anointed me to preach good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners and recovery of sight for the blind, to release the oppressed, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor." And then he rolled up the scroll, gave it back to the attendant, and sat down. The eyes of everyone in the synagogue were fastened on him, and he began by saying to them, "Today, this scripture is fulfilled in your hearing." Jesus wanted to make it clear to other people why he had come into this world. It was to bind up the broken. It was to proclaim freedom for prisoners, release for the oppressed, and most of all, the year of the Lord's favor. A new thing God was doing. Making wrongs right. Repairing what was broken and allowing the new creation to start coming into reality because he was present. He continues to do that today. Wherever Jesus is, the new creation is birthed. I hope that you are experiencing that newness that Jesus Christ comes to bring anyone who will receive him in faith. Have a great day in the Lord.